Level 1. You wake up to a familiar rhythm. The alarm you set weeks ago. Coffee by the window. The little wins that keep you smiling. You check your inbox. A polite congratulations. A steady paycheck. Friends who call you stable, reliable. You feel proud. And safe. Comfort is soft light on a cold morning. It feels like you're moving forward. But softness can be a surface. Beneath, something has stopped stretching. Your growth plateaus. You don't notice at first. Small compromises become habits. You trade bold for predictable. You choose calm over friction. You call it wisdom. You name it practicality. But what if it's a trap? What if the life you built to protect you is the same thing that limits you? Level 2. You start to see the signs. A project you once loved now feels routine. Your inbox fills with the same type of requests. You use phrases like, "That's how we've always done it." You avoid risk disguised as efficiency. You pick comfort over challenge. Your calendar is full but your heart feels empty. You measure success by stability, not by stretch. You compare yourself to where you thought you'd be. Silence grows at the edges of your day. You tell yourself it's temporary. You're busy, productive, competent. But inside, a small voice asks different questions. Are you learning? Are you failing forward? Are you expanding the definition of who you are? You can't breathe in routine forever. You deserve to test the outer limits of your potential. Level 3. Why does this happen to you? Because the body hates uncertainty. Because the mind prefers stories that keep the status quo. Because praise and reward taught you to chase small wins. Because society applauds comfort as maturity. You were rewarded for being steady. So you became steady. But success has two faces. Comfort is one. Growth is the other. They coexist uneasily. Comfort minimizes pain. Growth invites discomfort. Comfort keeps the ship from rocking. Growth steers you toward storms you must learn to navigate. You confuse safety with success. And suddenly, all your choices are defensive. You are conserving energy rather than investing it. A low-burning ember is not the same as a live fire. Level 4. The turning point feels small. A meeting goes off script. You are asked a question you haven't prepared for. You feel your pulse rise. You stumble, and then you improvise. You learn more in that awkward minute than in a month of smooth rehearsals. Or you get an offer that's bigger than your comfort. A project with unclear outcome. A title that sounds risky. You hesitate. Then you accept. Or you don't. Either way, the moment is a mirror. It shows what you value most, certainty or potential. When you choose potential, the world gets bigger. When you choose certainty, it gets safer and smaller. There is no perfect time to change. There is only the accumulation of small decisions. Each one nudges you either toward growth or toward inertia. Level 5. Escaping the trap doesn't mean chaos. It means disciplined discomfort. It means setting up experiments. Small, repeatable, measurable experiments. You choose one project outside your wheelhouse. One conversation that scares you. One skill you have to relearn. You schedule those discomforts like appointments. You keep them sacred. You fail quickly. You iterate. You de-risk your future by trading certainty for learning. You celebrate small detonations of progress. Each failure returns data. Each tiny victory widens your margin for more risk. You stop waiting for permission. You give yourself a roadmap. And the roadmap is forgiving. You don't have to sprint. You move in deliberate steps. Level 6. You build new rituals. Rituals that keep friction low but growth high. A morning habit that includes a stretch into the unknown. Reading a book that challenges your worldview. Weekly conversations with people who scare and inspire you. Monthly projects that live outside your current title. Accountability becomes your ally. You tell one person the scary goal. You report back. You embrace feedback not as judgment, but as fuel. You reframe failure as information. This is not corporate self-help. It's survival. The world changes fast. You can either adapt intentionally or be swept along. Comfort is a stabilizer. Growth is a propeller. You need both. But you must be intentional about which one you choose when. Level 7. You will still love the quiet days. You will keep some safe harbors. Comfort isn't the enemy. Complacency is. So you cultivate curiosity. You ask better questions. You trade explanations for experiments. You choose new discomforts with the same care you use to choose comfort. You forgive yourself when you retreat. You return to the path with curiosity intact. In time, you notice a difference. Opportunities arrive that used to pass you by. You feel more alive, not more stressed. The world becomes a workshop. You iterate the life you want. Invitation. Right now, pick one small discomfort. Schedule it. Describe how you'll know it's working. Tell one person. Start tomorrow. Or start today. You are not leaving safety behind. You're expanding the circle it protects. The success you thought you had will grow if you let it. If you let discomfort do its work. This won't be comfortable. But it will be worth it. You were made for more than maintaining. You were made for becoming.